Done?
Yeah, so
Okay. Hey guys, welcome to our new podcast with me, Michael Melly, and my friend Ayush Popat. We're calling it the Transformation Podcast, and hopefully we're going to talk about things that help you in your own transformations, as they say. So do you want to introduce yourself a bit?
Yeah, so I'm Ayush. If you know me, you know that I've been very into fitness since I was about 15, 16, and I played sport my whole life. So I think the main aim of this podcast is just to basically talk about our experiences initially, and then we're going to try have more guests on as time comes on, so you guys get a different view of how different people view their like activity and the stuff that's just helped them in their life, both work and just their mindset and stuff like that, and their fitness, which is what me and Michael were most interested in, I think.
Cool. So maybe to kick things off as a little icebreaker, I think it'll be quite cool, seeing as we're talking about transformations, to go right back to the start of our own transformations. And I want you to kind of pinpoint a moment or a person who inspired you to do what you do now and build up to what you've achieved, in fitness terms, that is.
Yeah, so I think for me, the being fit and strong, well, I think the aesthetic was something that I always wanted. Okay, so like I was shown the Rocky movies at a very young age, and the training montages of Sylvester Stallone in those Rocky movies was ridiculous. I was just like, I just want to be like that. I want to be strong, fit, run, and just be able to. I think also, I don't know what it was, but I had a bit of a paranoid mindset when I was younger. So the being able to defend myself or being able to be secure in certain situations was quite important to me, which is what I got into combat sports as I got older as well.
Yeah.
That was definitely one thing. But genetically, from a very young age, I was actually diagnosed with, well, delayed bone growth, which meant I was smaller than other kids. So I was 2 years behind just everyone, basically from day one. Okay, so I mean, and when you're going to school or stuff like that, and you're having conversations with kids, it's very easy for someone just to pinpoint something that you can't change.
Yeah, kids are mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids are horrible.
Yeah, you're getting that at a very young age while your brain is developing, and if you're not secure enough or you haven't grown up enough at that age, which most people haven't, when you're 8, in that age, I think when you're like 8 to 14, that's when you're like you're not mature enough to be able to deal with certain situations.
Yeah.
If someone's saying something to you, like, it can have an impact. And for me, it was almost like you're going to prove, like, I might be smaller than you, but I'm going to be stronger, I'm going to be fitter, I'm going to be faster. Okay.
Yeah.
That was the main aim, initially at a young age. And I mean, it's like the one thing that I think I've learned from this whole experience is that you should not focus on stuff that you can't change. Okay. If you're 5'7", like, there's no point in being like, oh, I wish I was 6 foot. No, you play the cards that dealt with you. So stuff like that, I think that was definitely a driving factor. So, and I'd also seen my uncle, who was very, very overweight. So he must have weighed, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it, but he's lost a ton of weight. And when he was definitely obese, okay? And over around a 3-year period, he lost 60 kilograms, okay? And the reason why he did that was his daughter was born, and he realized that for his longevity, for him to be a good father, stuff like that, was for him to lose weight. And I saw that straight away. And during the first year of his transformation, I went to Portugal, which is where my mom's side of the family is from. And he was in the gym, like on holiday, grinding on that treadmill, just running, burning calories, just trying to be a better version of himself. And I was just trying to sneak into the gym because you had to be 16 to get in there. And like, they just didn't want me in there. They were like, no, you can't, you're too young. I think I must have been like 14. Yeah, and they were like, you're not allowed to lift weights. If you want to go there, you can just go on the treadmill, like you can run. Okay, I was like, fine.
Yeah.
As long as I'm in that environment, I just wanted to be in that environment,
Yeah.
And I played tennis since I was like 3, and the strength and conditioning aspect of it, when I was lifting weights, I just found that I really enjoyed it. It was like, I don't know what it was. I think my success with my physique has definitely come from me enjoying it. Like it's always been something that I wanted to do. Yeah,
I think the enjoyment comes though, but I feel like everyone has that initial thing why they start working out. Like you said, like if you're maybe insecure about something and you want to just like build up your self-confidence or something, but as you get older, start developing, and you've been in the gym longer, been working out longer or whatever, it just becomes sort of a habit and something you enjoy more so than something you're doing to like,
yeah,
I don't know, and stuff like that.
yeah. I think that's very important as well. It's like if you don't enjoy something, like
Exactly.
your if your aim is to be extremely muscular, and then you have to lift weights, and in order to lift weights on a consistent basis, to be consistent with it, you have to do it on the days that you're not feeling that great. And the biggest likelihood of you doing that is if you actually enjoy it.
That's like with everything in life as well, isn't it? Goes for almost everything.
I always found at school that I was better at subjects that I enjoyed. If I was engaged and if I wanted to do it, then I'd always do better in those things. And the stuff and
Mm-hmm.
same with fitness. Like that I could even pinpoint certain portions of like my physique that are stronger because I enjoy training that more. Like it's just the
Yeah.
way, like you like playing football, but if for me, I would never become a person who's good at football because I don't enjoy playing it.
Of course, yeah.
You have a passion for those things,
You just enjoy having your head kicked in
Yeah.
instead.
So, yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit. So that's something that's definitely helped me, um, training in martial arts. So I joined the gym when I was about 16. I think in the UK you have to be around 16 years old to join a gym. And I started on I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just like basically just doing bench press, like stuff that I just thought would make me look better. And the main, I think it was just to get stronger. And everyone was always like, "Oh, how much do you bench?" So I was like, "Oh, I better start bench pressing," that was stuff like that. And it just seemed like the easiest body part. Like I say it's the body part that most people probably start training first. That and like
Yeah.
arms probably.
But for me, like personally, what I think was quite important in my development was that quite early on, when I started going to the gym, I had just like one session with a personal trainer. And I
Yeah,
think that actually helped me so much because he gave me sort of a structure and showed me that it's not about just like
yeah,
bicep
yeah,
bench press. He
yeah,
showed me like, yeah, loads of sort of, what do you call them, where they like combine different muscle groups,
yeah. So when
like
you actually have a structure, it's normally you probably want to link a
compound
yeah,
stuff. That was not just like loads
isolation.
of bicep burners. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's definitely something I learned from just over time. That's something like I think as soon as you start structuring it properly, the progress you see is a lot greater. And
And I think just having someone to help you just in your first steps, I
yeah,
think that's kind of important. But
yeah,
like because of YouTube and the internet these days, that's so easy to come across, even like without having to pay for things.
yeah.
If you put it and stuff like that.
I think that's why both of us have been quite successful with the gym because I don't know about you, but for me specifically, when I'm watching something like in my free time, it tends to
Mm,
always disorientated, and it's just because I enjoy watching them. Like I
mm.
enjoy watching when learning about different forms of training. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
like it, I just like watching people push themselves. I think that's one of the main things. I just get a lot of satisfaction when I see someone who's doing something ridiculously hard and then imagine like manages to push through. You get to,
yeah,
and I think that's one of the for me that's one of the most satisfying things for myself. I feel like I'm happiest when I'm pushing myself, and
yeah,
for me, I enjoy being around people who do the same thing. Like, and I think
yeah.
if you have, like you said, if you have like a positive role model to tell you what to do or to give you, who's like set the path for you, then you're more likely to follow those steps. So
Hmm.
I joined the kickboxing team when I was around 16, and those guys train ridiculously hard. And like you come in, I came in a bit smaller. I was like, I need to get stronger. I need to get stronger. I need to get faster. I'm smaller, so I need to draw technique more. It's like stuff like that. And the people that hold you, you can't, I think you can rely on yourself. If you're very mentally strong, you can rely on yourself to hold yourself accountable for certain things, you know, like if
But
you
you
don't,
need around you. Everyone needs like a good
yeah,
group of friends around you. Because
exactly.
like if you someone like if I see you doing well, you succeeding, that kind of pushes me, drives me on to do well myself. I don't want to fall behind, that sort of thing.
And I quite like it. It's like if I said to you, oh, I didn't go to the gym today, I didn't want to go. You just call me, you call me fat. And I understand that there's some levels of sensitivity that we have to be like careful about. But if
Yeah.
you're my close friend and I'm slacking.
Yeah, exactly. You know I'm joking, but like at the same time it pushes you.
Yeah,
It just
exactly.
gives
I want you to do that, you know? And I think that's why you should have like that kickboxing team pushed me. Like so there were certain days that they'd do a session and I'd be like, I don't want to come. Like I'm sore.
yeah,
And they'll be like, some idiots texting me telling me you don't want to turn up. What the hell's going on? I'd be like, oh yeah, I have to show up, you know. And
yeah.
over time, and I think it's just consistency and turning up and getting the thing done. And I don't even think it has to be the gym. As long as you've got something that you're putting your energy
It
to.
can be in anything.
Yeah.
But just going back quickly as well to you talking about who like you enjoy watching people and stuff like that. Is there sort of an influencer or just fitness person in particular that you remember thinking, yeah, I wanna be like that guy?
Yeah, so I think I started watching the wrong, like when I was started, I definitely was watching the wrong stuff. Okay, so I was watching who was big on Instagram. At the time, it was the bro science guys. So, and the,
Yeah,
the issue is when you're watching them is they're not like, yeah, it's just not like a PhD. You're not, it's different to listening to someone who's like done a degree in sports science or has done
mhm,
who has a PhD or like stuff like that. Those people know the exact things you should be doing, how to
yeah,
boost your cardio, build strength. Whereas like you listen to some of the influencers nowadays, they're like, no, don't do cardio. Like you're in the fitness industry and you're telling people not to take care of their cardiovascular health. It doesn't make
yeah.
sense, you know? And then I think so. I don't want to name drop, so I won't actually say the specific YouTubers, but like
Okay.
I started watching the Joe Rogan Experience, and I watched
On
the first episode I watched was this guy called Firas Zahabi, who's George St. Pierre's coach.
okay.
So a very technical coach, someone who
Yeah.
definitely knows what they're doing, arguably trained the greatest of all time in mixed martial arts. Okay,
Mhm.
so he definitely knows what he's talking about. It's not some guy who's taken some supplements and then has decided to start a YouTube channel, you know. And then I should say, even if you are on certain things, it does take a huge lot of work to get to that physique. Okay, so
Yeah,
I don't want
I agree. The
to.
thing is sometimes people don't admit it, which then gives like this really like hard, impossible to attain image or like body image for people looking at it and they think it's natural.
Yeah,
So I think if you want to use them, that's fine, but you have to be honest about it, if that makes sense.
I think it's definitely a problem because the issue is you've got people with maybe who don't have certain genetics for certain things, but they definitely have genetics for other activities. But say if they want it, say if someone doesn't have the genetics for building muscle, okay, or like they're an ectomorph, which means that you're a hard gainer, you struggle to put muscle on, you know.
Yeah.
The if you're watching someone who's absolutely jacked out their mind because they're taking certain substances, then
Yeah.
it creates a, how would you say it? It's like it's not a very good representation of the human body, you know? Like that's not, if something's not
Yeah.
natural.
Literally fake.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when you see someone on stage and you can see that it's not only that, it's not only the steroids. When you see someone on Instagram and they've got their, I'm guilty of this as well. If I've got a photo on the beach, okay, yeah, I would have done some push-ups before. Okay, I definitely would have had a pump. I'm not lying. I'm not lying, and I know for a fact that there's certain influencers who would, they won't drink any water before a shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd be water loading a couple of days before. They haven't eaten. Okay, you're seeing what looks like the best shape of their life. I promise you this, they feel the worst, okay? They're dehydrated, that they don't feel very good. There's a reason why there's been so many bodybuilding deaths, okay? They use heavy diuretics, okay, and certain things like that. It's crazy. The fitness industry is so broad that you get certain things that just should not be. It's not, you're taking the word fit away from it. These people aren't feeling good, you know, like it's not a good way to be. And so if you're a 13, 14-year-old watching these people on Instagram, YouTube, and like I think it's even worse for girls, but for boys especially, but it doesn't get enough coverage, I don't think, for guys. And it's just like you'll have someone just compromising their hormones, their immune system, because they're taking certain substances just to look that way.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's just I don't think it's a good thing, and I think we should be really careful about who we're watching on YouTube and what we're listening to. Like
Yeah.
even like the form that some people use in the gym to lift loads of weight because they're ego lifting.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
It's like you can hurt yourself, you can compromise yourself to be able
Seriously.
to your life, you know? And I think that's, yeah, we should be very careful. You're creating an unrealistic body image.
I think, unfortunately, almost kind of links back to why I almost started going gym. Like, because I can almost pinpoint the exact moment, right? It was when I remember, I can't remember why I had it, but we had like just like a men's health magazine lying around in our house or whatever. And on the front cover was like, who was it? Zac Efron.
Yeah.
But like not a natural picture, like clearly edited, and
yeah,
like
he was definitely one of the
massive whatever. But so like that was, I saw that, and literally just like that day I was like, yeah, I want to have that body eventually. But like for the first couple of years when I was working out, I was doing it like every day, whatever. But I wasn't actually active gym because I was too young. I was just doing like at home workouts, whatever, with some dumbbells that I got for Christmas, whatever, like 6 kg. But like I was just constantly looking in the mirror and I was like, nothing's happening. What's going on? Why don't I have that amazing body that I saw on the front cover? And it's like that, first of all, that's like completely unobtainable. And second of all, like it takes a very long time. And like, but I didn't understand that because I was just working out because I thought I was going to end up with a 6-pack the next day.
The thing is, I don't think it's unobtainable. I think that
image on the magazine,
okay.
like that front cover image, there's like oil up, perfect light.
But you're not going to look like if you got him to take his shirt off, if he was right in front of you right now and you were like, take your shirt off, there is no way he looks like that. Okay, he's as I said, dehydrating. He may be taking, you don't know, I don't want to say, but like certain influences I know, or like bodybuilders that take diuretics to themselves. Okay, and you have to be very careful. And it's also the thing is, you're comparing yourself as a 14, 15-year-old sometimes with someone who's been training for 15, 16 years. Okay. And I know for myself, I've made a hell of a lot of progress in the 4 or 5 years I've been weight training. Okay. So like what I look like in 30 years to a 14-year-old might be unrealistic, you know?
True.
He has to understand, kids need to understand this stuff takes work, and you do not want to take shortcuts, okay? You do not want to be first of all, not able to train in the long term. Someone told me this, there was a bodybuilder in one of the gyms I used to train at, and he was a very big guy, and I think he was like 40, and he said it's a marathon, not a race, okay? You do not want to do not take this like it's just a click of the fingers and you're going to look like that, you know? It's not going to happen.
But I think people do get almost bogged down by that sort of thing. Like they expect results instantly, and when they don't see them, they just quit. Do you know what I mean? Like it's very, very easy to do that if you're working out for say like even 1, 2, 3 months. You're going consistently, you see nothing, and then you're like, what's the point? Nothing's happening. But something It's just happening at a slow rate that you won't see it like instant amazing results.
Yeah, so I think to be successful in that, in the fitness, like in your fitness, is the enjoyment again. Because if you're not seeing results and you might feel bogged down by it, you still will go to the gym because you enjoy it. So it
Yeah.
needs to be a balance between you enjoying it and you just going because you want to look good, you know? Or like I know for myself, I hated running at the beginning of the first lockdown. And I just competed in a Muay Thai interclub, and I knew that I needed to get my cardio better because I gassed out. And I was like, okay, you need to start running. Okay, we start 5K once a week. Okay, and I hated it. And as you get better at something, I realized I started getting running high. You know what the runner's high when you're deep. The way I picture it is normally I get it later towards the run, and I feel extremely like I basically lose myself in a certain position, you know, and you're just like, and you just begin to enjoy it, and then I'd actually want to start going for runs, you know, and I
Yeah.
think that for me, I thought I saw a photo of me when I just started training, maybe like 3 months into training or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I started training properly, consistently, like September of, so after GCSE, September of 2017. And I saw a photo that was probably taken in December. And it's like a mirror selfie. And I don't look good. Like if you ask me now, I'm like, oh, that's not, I don't. But at that point in my head, I felt like I was jacked. And I think that something that's really important. Okay. If you're able to visualize that.
You're saying you almost thought like the opposite to the way I was thinking.
Yeah. So I think I had the opposite mindset that you did. I always thought that I was that way. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, getting to the gym was, oh, I just do that. Okay. I even wear, like, I'd wear a tank top because I thought that I had big arms, and I didn't, you know, like and you setting that mindset that you are something. It's almost like fake it till you make it. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
That's basically the way I looked at it. And I think that that's like, there's something I've become very like, last couple years I've realized is the law of attraction. Is when you visualize something or you like manifest it, you know, and there's a difference between manifesting something and then not putting in the work. But for me, I think it was manifesting and then knowing that I have to hold myself accountable because I'm capable of that, and I need to put the work into to like, almost, I owe it to myself to be where I want to be. And even now, I was thinking this yesterday. I was like, the 16-year-old who started training be proud of the point where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
I almost owe it to that 16-year-old to keep pushing forward because I don't want to go back. You know, like, what's that younger kid put in the work? You know, I have to keep pushing, and it's stuff like that. So I think, even though mine came from certain insecurities, my start to training, I think that my mindset shifted very quickly as I started training because I saw other people not doing the same thing. It's like, there's a boxer, his name's Conor Ben, and he wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go running. You know, the reason he said in like an interview, he was like, I don't have to wake up at 4 o'clock. I can do it at another time, but there's something about doing something while other people aren't that's very addictive. You know, that for me, that's something that's ridiculous. It's like when I know I'm putting more work in than anyone else, I kind of, it gives you a boost of confidence. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's an extreme confidence booster, and you're like, it just makes you feel capable of anything. And I think that I brought that into, it's not only in fitness that I've been able to do that. It's in
Yeah.
my like work, or like the things I have for my career, or like what I want to do in the future. I feel that I'm able to push myself to a place that I don't think many other people can, you know, and I think
Yeah.
that's a
To
fitness.
look at it from sort of another perspective though. Say there's someone trying to lose weight or someone trying to gain weight, whatever. They I know you said you had like, you always had sort of a self-confidence or self-reassurance, like you wear a tank top, don't really care, whatever. You thought you looked good. But say someone looks in the mirror and thinks they look awful, and that's why they don't want to go gym or something, because they're almost scared. Like they don't like themselves, they don't like their body, so it's very hard. But I think that's why almost you have to, like you said, not manifest, but have a goal, have like a vision. Because if you can like see yourself in maybe a year or so's time, and you have that as your goal, you set yourself like a clear ambition, I think that can help you power through the bad days where you don't feel like 100%, don't like yourself that much, you know?
There's no sugarcoating it, okay? The way it is, if you think you're overweight, okay, you've got two options: stay overweight or get active. You know, do the things that are going to help you. Okay, and to do that, you need to put yourself in that.
Obviously, as long as it's not like a medical condition.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That definitely.
Yeah.
Right. But say you're healthy. Okay. There's no reason why you should not be working out. Okay. And
or doing like some sport. Yeah.
or doing some sport, which I would class as not, which I would class as some sort of activity. Any activity.
Sitting on your couch all day, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like even if you do, like a lot of people do their, like, what's it called, like the 10,000 steps a day. Like, yeah.
The issue I have is the way the world's going with all this technology. We're not built for it. The human mind and the body is not built for sitting at a desk, sitting on your sofa, okay, being on your laptop all day, being on your phone. It's not. And I know this because the days where I'm on my phone, okay, even if I'm on my phone for like half an hour, my head starts hurting. And there's a reason for it. Your body is going, what is going on? Like, you should be doing something. And
the thing is, so easy to do that now, though. It's so easy to fall into that trap, like with TikTok and Instagram. They all have algorithms like that are made to make you want to just stay on your phone scrolling aimlessly the whole day, whatever. You can literally scroll. I'm guilty of it as well. I've literally spent like an hour or upwards of an hour just scrolling through, not even realizing the time's going by, really. That's why it's so dangerous.
I've got two tips for that. You know, the first thing is try limit the amount of time you're spending. Okay, so the easiest way to do that is to set a limit for certain apps on your phone, and it's kind of a behavioral nudge. So for me, I've got an hour limit on my Instagram. Okay, so
thing with that is as well, I think I had that a few months ago or whatever, but it's so easy just to tap ignore limit.
No, yeah, but I think if you're just by doing that, you're holding yourself more accountable than you would if
yeah.
And then the second thing is, if you find yourself on Instagram, instead of following people who could be a bad influence or are portraying unrealistic body types or making you feel unhappy because their like looks, which I promise you it's probably not, looks better than yours, okay? Start following success pages, motivational pages, okay? Start following people you want to be like. See what they're doing on a daily basis, okay? I know that I follow several MMA fighters. I follow several fitness influencers. I follow several motivation success pages and that kind of just pushes me forward because I see someone on my Instagram sprinting up a flight of stairs and I'm gonna go do that, you know? Or I see someone grinding in the gym, or I see someone teaching someone how to have a better or a clearer mindset. Like something that I picked up from Israel Adesanya's Instagram is box breathing, and it helped my mental a lot, a crazy amount. I started doing it every morning, you know? So picking up things that are going to help you instead of just mindlessly looking at it. I think that I would recommend people restructure who they follow. That's something is a very key. And I've kind of automatically done it because I'm interested in those things. But if you're someone who maybe is not interested, just force yourself to follow a few people who like are like how you want to be, you know? You need
do you know what helped me as well? Like sort of limit my time on Instagram and social media, whatever. Sometimes I literally just delete the app. Like not necessarily delete your account, just delete the app for the day. And when you get back home, like you finished all your work, whatever, download it again and go on it for like half an hour, whatever. But that way, like, because the temptation to just tap it when it's there, when you're trying to work or something, just tap on it, look through Instagram for hours is is really dangerous. So like if you just remove it completely, remove the app, and you re-download it. It's not like you're deleting your account. if you need it, that's like the key difference. If you need it, you can download it again. But it's like, if it's always there, you can just tap on it when you want it. And there's like a big difference between when you need it and when you want it just to procrastinate.
I think it links to something quite nice that I wanted to ask you about, but I'll ask you this first. Do you ever do you get a fear of missing out when you delete your, social media?
Well, like FOMO.
Yeah.
Not so, maybe not a fear of missing out. I feel like it's just when I have it, it's almost a comfort or a distraction of some kind. I don't know. It's like if I'm working on an essay or something, and for a second, I get distracted quite easily, if I'm being honest. But like if I'm working on an essay and like I have a mind blank for a second, it's so easy just to to get on my phone, click on Instagram, start messaging people, whatever, scrolling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do get that as well, because I get the FOMO side of things as well, because you're scared of, like, I guess, missing messages. Is that what you're trying to get at?
I don't even know what it is. It's sometimes I'll delete it and I'll be like, oh, what if someone's messaged me? What if someone needs something? You know, and it's like it's like a cycle of just you're like the over reliance on other people is really bad. I think that's something that's really that there's something wrong with our generation. That the independence of being able to deal with certain things is like really bad, and you're like putting your reliance on someone else's Instagram post or someone else's Facebook post. Like, is that really good for you? Like, I don't think so. You know, I doubt it is, because like, and the stuff that's come out, like, of people feeling the level of insecurity being higher in our generation than most previous generations because of social media is a definite issue. So I think that's like extremely, it's a difficult thing. And like I think we spoke about it for guys looking at certain bodybuilders or certain physiques, but the same goes for girls. Like if a girl's got an extremely good makeup artist and she posts a photo on Instagram, or like a famous person, and then you've got a 13-year-old who's like, why don't I look like her? Then like you're setting unrealistic body types or unrealistic looks, you know. And and also, like, I think that if you're constantly on something and you kind of it's like, it's almost like, you know, that you feel like you know a person, you know, like, because you're following them on social media, and that's pretty poor, you know, like that's not good.
Yeah, just going back to your point about FOMO, stuff like that, I think that links quite well into uni life.
Yeah, that's
So,
that's what I was thinking about.
So how did you find sort of that jump from going sixth form, where although there's like, you go out occasionally, like you drink whatever, like maybe once a week, maybe even once every 2 weeks, whatever, not even that in sixth form, to be honest, for me. But then you go to uni, freshers week, you're like almost peer pressured into drinking every night. And like the thing is, if I feel like if you don't, it's harder to meet people. I feel like there's a big drinking culture at like university. So like, how did you cope with almost balancing that with your fitness and stuff like that, and just your health in general and like work?
I think so. It's definitely a big factor for me, because I do like to go out. You know, that's something I really enjoy.
Everyone.
I think
That's
I
control.
I enjoy going out. I enjoy socializing, and like, I wouldn't say like I'm the most extroverted person, but there's something about being around different people that's, I think, for everyone is quite important. And yeah,
Humans don't want to be alone.
yeah, and the issue is, in our culture, is a lot of socializing after you're 18 is linked to alcohol, and especially at university. So in Freshers Week, I'd say I drank. Well, I actually no. I'll go further back. The summer of A levels, I don't think before that I would have done much drinking. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe I drank at someone's party, like an 18th birthday party. Okay, fine. But in that summer, me and you went interrailing, which had a lot of alcohol involved. And then I ended up probably going out every, like, twice a week after A level results. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I get to uni and the drinking.
It's even worse.
And it comes to a point where you're like, you know, like I spoke about this the other day on my Instagram, and I was like, there's all these people going, you can do both. And at what point can you actually do both? You know, like, is it long term? It's not, I don't think it's sustainable in the long term. Okay. And I
Yeah.
think the best thing for my fitness that happened was the lockdown. Okay. Because actually, I want to go back. What you said about peer pressure is quite important. And a lot of the time when I don't want to go out drinking, or I say, or like, I'll go out, but I'll be like, no, I'm only having one drink, or I'm not drinking. You know, people will go, oh, don't be boring.
Yeah.
And I also get it when I'm training all the time. Ayush, why are you going running at 7:30 in the morning? You know, like, and this was big at uni. Like a couple of my flatmates, or like someone close, like, Ayush, why are you boring? You're not coming out. You're not drinking. Why are you always at the gym? Okay, and two things here that I've used to help myself. The first thing is, why are those people so interested in what you're doing? Okay. And for me, I think some of it comes from, there are some people who are, I know, like there's a girl I know who was worried that maybe I wasn't enjoying stuff as much as I could be. And like, talked to me about it. And I spoke to her and I was like, no, but I really enjoy working out. And for me, I enjoy working out more, or being consistent and productive more than go that one night out, you know, because it's very boost of dopamine when you go out drinking. Okay. The
Yeah.
second thing is, sometimes if someone's feels like they're not doing enough, when they see someone doing, or like grinding, doing a lot, one way to pull someone back is to make it negative. So like, I don't understand how me running in the morning can be a negative thing, but to
I
someone,
feel like sometimes as well, people just don't understand. Like, they don't understand how you can see that as fun.
yeah.
Like, but that's where, like, communication is important. Like, if you just sit down with someone and explain why you enjoy it, I feel like you could have a good conversation, have a better relationship with them, sort of thing.
And I say my relationships, the best relationships I have, whether it's at uni or at home, has been with people who train. Okay, who people
I
who
like,
work
in a
similar,
sense.
you know, because they understand it. And I also get it with like work as well. Like, so when I was at uni, I'd say I work very hard. Okay, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I do put a lot of work in. And the reason I do it is because I hold myself very accountable, because I
Yeah.
want to go into anything knowing that I've done everything I can. So if I fail an exam, okay, it's not because I didn't put the work in. Okay, I don't want that, you know, and I think that puts a lot of confidence in myself, because I feel like I do a lot of work. Okay, and the issue is when someone goes, why are you working all the time? And I promise you, the people who always go, why are you working all the time? Why are you working out all the time? Are the people who don't do it enough. Okay. So there's two things. Either it comes from they don't understand the feeling of accomplishment when you actually succeed. That's the first one. Second of all, or like if you finish a run, like how good you feel after you finish a long run, how good you feel after you finish a leg session in the gym. Okay. Because that's a very addictive thing. So if someone hasn't been exposed to that, I can't blame them they need to be exposed to it to understand how I'm feeling. The second thing is that some people, because as I said, because they'll feel slightly insecure that they're not doing enough. Okay. And in order to make themselves feel better, they have to associate what I assume to be positive with the negative. So by calling me boring, they feel better. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, or by being like, why are you working all the time? They feel better that they went out drinking instead of.
I think basically what you're touching on here is pretty much people that are like very insecure with themselves. Like, they're not maybe in this instance, but I feel like it's the same for people that are insecure about themselves. Like, they try and almost by like deflect their insecurities by like projecting them almost onto you, like picking out things they think that you might be insecure about to make themselves feel better, sort of thing.
You don't understand it. It's like, am I going to get insecure about being healthy? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. It's
No,
like,
no, I'm not saying
no,
in this.
I
It's
understand.
like,
I understand what you mean, but it's it's like, it's not going to bother me because I'm just going to keep doing it. You know, like
Yeah.
I do what I want. And I've learned that there's two things that are important. Not caring what people think, that's the first thing. Second, in order to be successful, especially in fitness, you do not want to care what other people think. That's the first rule. Because as you said, if you're overweight, you need to learn not to care that people might be looking at you when you go into a gym. You know,
Yeah.
you need to learn that. If you're small, you need to understand that people might call you small, but you just have to brush it off, you know?
Yeah.
And so as long as you're comfortable with yourself, I think that's one thing that is really important. Just don't focus on your close people. And if those close people are saying negative things to you for no reason, get rid of them. Okay, they're not
That's good advice. That's very good advice.
they shouldn't be close to you. And like I try avoid people with negative negative influence. I do not want to be around them. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I think that was like I went on a tangent. What was the question? I forgot what you asked.
Which one? What? How long ago?
Yeah,
You've been on
no,
half an hour.
yeah, no, but you're definitely right. So those people, it does come from insecurity. You need to learn how to.
Yeah. I think though you have to kind of be careful to sort of differentiate. I think between like everyone has sort of insecurities, right? I don't care who you are or whatever, how good looking you are. Everyone has something that they're insecure about, right? But I think when people say they're not attracted to like insecure people or whatever, I think by that they don't mean, oh, your insecurities are invalid, whatever. Of course, everyone's like feels bad about something, but I think where like people get annoyed with insecure people is when they try and, like I said earlier, like deflect their insecurities onto someone else, bring other people down. I think that between having an insecurity and being insecure almost,
Yeah,
like
yeah, you're definitely
plain, but
you're definitely right, and I think that's definitely an issue. But the problem with those people is they're always bundled together because the positive ones aren't going to want to keep them close by.
yeah.
And that's the issue. And when you have loads of negative people together, what's the likelihood that they're going to change? And that's the issue, you know. If people are always like, I hate gossip. Like that's something I really hate. I'm like, why are you so focused on other people's stuff? You're wasting your energy. You've got a finite period of time on this planet, you know, and you're worried about dragging other people down.
Yeah.
Like I had someone comment on my Instagram the other day, and I don't even know who it was. I think it's someone that I haven't spoken to in like 4 years. No, actually, so I've started posting pretty often fitness
Real
related,
stuff, yeah.
okay? And I've had several people messaging me saying they like the stuff I'm posting and
Yeah.
and they're proud of me and that
One guy to like it a bit too much, doesn't he?
yeah, for sure. But, so like I've had several people who are messaging me like saying that, and then I've also had people in my comments, one specific person in my comment going, oh, someone I know is better or like is better than me at certain stuff. And I'm
It's
like,
pretty weird thing to say.
what do you think I'm competing? Like I'm focused on myself, you know, I don't compete with anyone. Okay.
That's kind of almost exactly what I was trying to touch on, like in terms of people being insecure and deflecting it onto other people. So like he's trying to bring you down, make you feel worse about the content created in order to make him feel better about himself, sort of thing. Some aspects of social media are so toxic. I think it's, especially in like, if you read through some of the comments on Twitter, they're awful. Like nothing productive or positive comes from it. It's just pure negative energy in some cases, and that's so draining.
If you think that if you have time to comment on someone's like negative on someone else's things, you need to get your life together.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what you're doing. Like why are you wasting your energy thinking about what someone else is doing? And I think there's something that's helped me is I think everyone should picture themselves as in their own league. Okay, everyone is in their league, a league of their own. Okay, you should hold yourself to the highest accountability. Okay, you should compete against yourself. I always want to do better than I did yesterday. Okay. And it's like what I said about owing it to that 16-year-old, my 16-year-old self. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm always focused on myself. I don't care about, like, if someone goes, oh, this person got a really good job here, I don't care. I do, like, it's like, why are you telling me this? Like, it doesn't positively impact me, especially if it's someone I don't know. So if you came up to me and went, oh, I secured a great graduate job, or
Hmm.
a certain like person reached out to me and they want to train with me, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
But when it comes to people I don't know, like, it's just useless information. I'm like, why are you like, it's
But it does depend on what motivates them to tell you about it as well, doesn't it? Like if they're telling it about you to like sort of boast and gloat and like almost make themselves feel better than you almost, or make you feel worse than them, that's like a pretty crappy way of doing it. But like if you say like you said, I saw you get a great job or whatever, like we mentioned earlier, like it's like a good way of driving you on.
yeah.
And that's why you surround yourself with other positive people and a good group of friends.
Yeah, I think so. And I think like something was quite in my so my A level year, um,
Mm.
which would have been both of our A level years. I think one of the reasons why I performed quite well was because one of my best friends was extremely smart in the same subjects I was doing, you know, and having him around just like pushed me. I saw how hard he was working. I wanted to work that hard. I saw a
Yeah.
certain thing. I just wanted, and it wasn't that I was competing with him. It was more like he's doing great. I'm like, why? I'm listening. I'm doing the same subjects as him. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm as smart, or if not like the same. Okay, we're all the same. When it comes
Mhm.
down to it, okay, fine. Some of us have different attributes to each other, but in
Yeah.
some fields, we all have certain capabilities. So I'm like, I'm as capable, okay? And then I'm like, oh, maybe I'm just not putting enough work in. Put the work in, okay?
Yeah. So wait, are you saying? So are you saying to begin with, right? Did he get better grades than you to begin with, or whatever?
I did
This
it,
friend.
yeah. So I don't even know if it was the grades. I think it was just the work ethic.
So he was working harder
Yeah, I was
to
like,
begin with,
yeah, I could see him,
right?
and I think I follow the Rock on Instagram, and he always talks about being like the
Oh,
hard, yeah, but he always talks about being the hardest worker in the room.
yeah.
And like, if you're not trying to outwork everyone, what are
But
you?
just touching on that, I think not many people have that sort of mindset, or like not enough people have that sort of mindset. So, for instance, some people see someone doing really well, like in their same class, whatever, they become like insecure in themselves. They're like, I'll never attain that level, whatever. That's impossible. I can't do that. I may as well just give up. What stopped you? What stopped you from like just doing that, conceding like, oh, he's better than me. It can't be asked anymore. What made you think, no, I'm gonna like work hard, get to his level of working hard, if not like better him?
I think there's two ways of thinking about this, and I don't know if we want to touch on it, but I read a book. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I can't remember who the author is, but I think it was like in the first chapter. There are two different mindsets, okay, and you've got the warrior mindset, the warrior mentality, okay, and you've got the victim mentality. And the difference between the warrior and the victim is the victim always blames someone else, okay?
Yeah.
Either always blame someone else, or they just feel like the universe is against them, whatever. Like, it's like, and it's a very negative way to be, okay? And I think that when I was younger, I was definitely in the victim category, okay? And I'll admit that, I was definitely there. Why am I small? Why am I smaller than all the other kids? Like stuff like that. Why didn't like I didn't get into this, and it was also almost pitched on me. Okay, people will get. I wouldn't get into something. Okay, like say I didn't get into a certain tennis squad when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
People would go, "Oh, it's just politics." No, maybe it's not politics. Maybe I just didn't work hard enough. You know, that's like that. That's the. It's like there's so many excuses that people can come up with. Like you keep coming up with.
Mm.
Okay, so the thing is, it's like what you said. So why am I like this? Why am I like overweight? Why am I underweight? And David Goggins talked about it very well. He said, look in the accountability, look in the mirror. Okay, what he calls a mirror is the accountability mirror. Look at yourself and see if you like the way you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the warrior is the one who goes out and gets it. And from reading different things, from watching, a lot of my role models are athletes. Okay, from watching how their mentality, it has just helped me transition from that victim mindset to that warrior mindset. Because when I see someone doing well, I see, oh, they've done it. Like, that means I can.
I can do it.
Yeah. Like, what's the difference between me and them? Absolutely nothing. Okay? Whereas the victim would go, oh my God. So you know what? This is something. A Ferrari drove past once. I was with someone, and I said to that person, I was like, oh, I have one of those one day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it takes a certain form of confidence, and a lot of people will see someone in a Ferrari and go, oh, I bet you he's a twat. You know? Okay, which is the mindset for a lot of people. And I was watching something on Instagram, and this guy said, well, if you think he's a twat, okay, you've connotated something that you want with something negative. So what's the likelihood that you're going to go out and get it?
Mm.
You know?
But it goes back to that point of having a goal and having a vision, doesn't it? Yeah. And like I said, manifesting something. I know some people don't believe in it, whatever, but I think it can like massively help you. Because even if you don't end up obtaining a Ferrari, whatever, it helps you get to a point where you'll at least be comfortable in life, because you're constantly trying to attain something. It keeps you motivated. That's why, even if you say you do obtain the Ferrari one day, I think at that point you then have to reset your goals.
Yeah.
Or else it's very easy to kind of fall back down again.
The issue is with that is, I think there's a difference between manifesting. Okay. I think, okay, so the only time manifesting works is if you put in the work, you know,
Of course, like everything.
You can't manifest, oh, I'm going to have something, and then not act accordingly. Okay, so I think something that's helped me is, like, I remember when I was competing in martial arts. So this year, when I was supposed to have a competition, just before uni finished, I was like, well, I'm gonna win, you know, like that was someone said, what if you lose? What if you get hurt? I was like, that's not gonna happen. Okay. And for me to have that confidence in myself was because I was training a ridiculous amount, you know. I wasn't drinking any alcohol. Okay. I was waking up early, going to sleep at a reasonable time. Okay. And that puts a sense of confidence in me that I would be able to do that, you know.
Yeah.
And if you're not putting in the work and you're going to try and manifest something, well, that's a one-way street to being unhappy. Okay. Because you've set unrealistic expectations for yourself. Okay. You literally have. For me, those expectations of winning that competition are realistic because I'm putting the work in. For me, what I want in the future is realistic in my head because I know I'm going to put the work in to get there. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but whereas if you're going to go, oh, I want so and so, and like I'm not gonna put the work in, then, or like, why am I still where I am?
Yeah.
Where you are because you're not doing the right things.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's like people go to the gym, okay, and they're like, why aren't I growing? But then I see a lot of people on their phone in the gym. I see a lot of people socializing. Like
everything we've talked about kind of links together in a weird sort of way, doesn't it?
People
goes back.
Yeah, I get a lot of questions in the gym just because, like I say, I've obtained like a good level of training. Like I've definitely progressed a lot. So people ask me a lot of the time. They're like, so like, what supplements do you take? What certain nutrition do you do? How do you eat? What's your split and stuff like that? Which is great, but then sometimes they're just like, they're talking to you like they ask you so many questions that they're not actually putting in the work. Like it's very simple, a lot of it. Okay, people overcomplicate it. Like, a friend of mine lost a lot of weight, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't realize how simple it was. I just eat a bit less. I do a bit more activity."
Yeah,
it's not hard.
And obviously, again, just want to like clarify, this is for people that don't have underlying health conditions or whatever. Don't offend anyone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But like, it's like if you want to it's not very difficult. So the best thing to do is keep it really simple. Like the best advice I would give to someone who wants to start training is learn the basic movements. And that's something that comes on Instagram. You see people doing crazy, like it's like, no, that's just maybe focus on like the compound lifts initially. Affect those movements. Okay. It's the same thing if you're doing, say you're doing maths, okay? You have to learn the very basics before you can start doing like a differential equation or something ridiculously hard, okay? You can't just jump in. Like if I say to someone like, or like if I go, oh, Michael, you've never boxed before, okay? Let's go to the boxing gym and put you and spar and make you spar against someone who's
get knocked out.
Start at the bottom, okay, and work yourself up, okay, and
like that walk where you can run effectively.
And that's the same thing what we were talking about earlier when you were saying that some people will look in the mirror 3 months later and be like, why don't I look like Zac Efron did in Baywatch? Or like how The Rock did, and they've been putting in the work like consistently, okay?
You
can't expect to look a certain way. And the worst thing is when you have, one thing that I find really frustrating is when someone asks me for advice, okay, and they don't take it, and then 3 months later they come back and they're like, why am I still the same way?
And
like I had a kid on my Instagram, and a year ago he asked me for advice. I gave it to him, and then like I posted a video of how I eat and my full-time job, and how I work out, okay, and it did pretty well. And he replied and he goes, oh, so you do this much stuff? He was like, I go to uni, I'm first year uni, and I still feel like I don't have enough time to work out. And I'm like, what? You didn't have enough time. Like, it's like,
really?
yeah, because, and it goes, as you're saying, a lot of people will waste time and not realize it. Like 2 hours goes by and you just watch Netflix.
It's so easy to do that in this modern day.
Yeah, you could have got a workout in, like
exactly. Well, we've been talking for well over an hour now, so I think before we go off on any more tangents, it might be a good place to end it. But sort of one thing I just want to ask, as it's our first episode, I think it might be nice if you just give the listeners what was the sort of or what's the best piece of advice you can give to someone starting their transformation, we'll call it, as that's our podcast name.
Okay, so I think I've touched upon it already. Okay, there's 2 things I would recommend. First of all,
just a quick thing, no more tangent.
It's pretty detailed. The first thing is get someone to help you, Michael said, okay? Don't get someone to help you, okay? Find the right person who's going to teach you to do stuff with the proper technique, okay?
So like how for me in the first instance.
And having proper nutrition and follow the right things on Instagram. You'll learn as you go on to filter out information. Okay. The second thing is, okay, try, and I know it's extremely hard because people have been doing it their whole life. Do not fall into that victim category. Okay, you do not want. You don't do it. Okay, and I know people will listen to this and be like, "Oh, I didn't realize sometimes the way I think is a bit like a victim."
Yeah.
And I hope that by talking about it, people maybe shift, or like even like if it's 80% of your mindset shifting towards that warrior mentality, it's just going to help a lot of people. And the last thing I'll say is just don't care what other people think. That's
okay.
For me, being able to go into a gym with probably being quite skinny in a tank top, or like shirtless on the beach, even though I had nothing to flex. That's something that's your mentality needs to shift, and you need to start thinking that you are what you want to be.
Yeah.
And then I'll repeat. What would you give our listeners?
For me, I think it's just, if you find yourself getting distracted by like Instagram, social media, TikTok, whatever, it's so easy. I think just delete the app. It's really simple. Delete the app. You don't have to delete your account. It's always there if you want it. You can go back on whenever. But it's just to get rid of that urge to tap it, urge to scroll, whatever. And I promise you'll be almost 100 times more productive.
Yeah, definitely.
I think,
I actually could delete mine now. I feel like I might go the whole day without it. I don't want it on my phone.
Yeah. So
Guys.
I felt pretty good first episode, lad.
Yeah, I feel like next episode we're gonna. Well, I don't know if it'll be the next one, but if you watch this, we'll put our Instagrams in the comment section, and maybe just message one of us if you feel like you want to be on the podcast and you want to talk about something, or
if you have a good, have a good. I'll be bored.
Any good ideas of what you'd like us to talk about, or anyone who you think would be good to have on for us to talk to, or any questions just specific to us, then we'd be happy to answer them. And we really hope you enjoy what was, I think, an hour and 15 minutes, even though it was supposed to be like 4.
Yeah, your bloody tangents.
I think we'll like it. So anyway, thanks. See you later.